7:45 in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, we're joined by singer, poet, and author Anthony Dolland, who goes by the nickname Christelike. So you can get a sense as to his own philosophy. He's here to tell us more about his book that's called Walk. Not as in walk as you edge the ball, boy, you're out, walk. Not that kind of walk. It's walk, you step differently, knowing who you are. He has many titles to his name: artist, educator, playwright, and the list continues. He aims to inspire the masses with his work powered by his faith. Mr. Dolland, thank you very much for joining us this morning to tell us about this new publication. Good morning to you.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
So tell us about it. Walk, you step differently, knowing who you are. What does this offer to the reader?
Well, the intention behind the book is really to try and motivate persons to come to a place of really understanding who they are. I think a lot of us will live life, we search for ourselves, for most of us, but then there are many of us, honestly, that I think that just kind of we go through life, we take life for what it just gives to us, and we don't really try to find out who we are. And I think in that search to find out who we are, we come to terms with so many different things within ourselves, our potential, our capabilities, our talents, our gifts, and that kind of thing. And then we come to a place now where we are able to offer this to the world. And that's really what the book is about, is really to kind of inspire persons to search within themselves deeply and to try and find out who they are as an individual. We have so many copycats, we have so many persons out there that project themselves as images to be followed, but I think we rob ourselves by trying to copy other persons. So I'm really hoping that as persons read and internalize the information, that they come to certain realizations about themselves, and they're able now to offer themselves to society with the ability that they have been specifically granted with. We all have different talents, we all have different giftings, we all have different abilities. And I think it all offers to the world, color. This color that brings, a life element to living and stuff. So I'm really hoping that the book, through my personal experience, because in the book there's a lot of me in it, in the sense that I have shared what I have learned, I have experienced, and I shared that with the knowledge that I've gained, so that person can realize this is not something that I'm sharing, that I heard somebody say, or that I've just regurgitated, but it's actually something that I have lived and continue to live.
And where's the book available?
The book is available presently on Amazon, all right, in both the paperback and ebook format, presently available. We locally, I'm still working to get it into some of the bookstores down here at this time.
And what would have been the inspiration for you to do this? Because I'm interested in your comment about us not wanting, you don't want us to be copying other people, or so-called influencers and so on, and following them. But aren't you, based on your religious belief, asking people to copy the life of Jesus Christ?
Well, yes, I am asking them to copy. But the thing is about, if you really understand, Jesus Christ really introduces you to yourself. I think that is something that people a lot of times don't realize, because for him, he is my maker. To me, he is my maker. And the thing is, if it is that we really want to understand who we are as human beings and what we are called to do and what we are able to do, just as in any product, in order to really understand any product, you go back to the manufacturer, you read the manufacturer's guide, right? If you want to know how a car, the potential of a car, the capabilities of a car, you read the manual to see what it indicates that the car capability is. And when you know that, then you operate differently, because you might just jump in a vehicle and feel, well, okay, let's say I have a 4x4, and I'm on the government road and I'm driving here and there, but I don't know that the capabilities of the vehicle is to be able to go off road. I can go into mountainous areas. I can go probably in soft. Let's say I want to drive onto some certain beaches, right? But I'm thinking, I want to have this vehicle. But if I read the manual, I know that the vehicle would have the capability to do that. So then I would be able to operate the vehicle differently, because I understand the vehicle. And it's the same principle for us. If we really understand who we are as individuals, all right, we then operate differently, we function differently. It's like when a sports person comes to terms with their potential, it gives them a certain confidence, and they operate differently. They go onto the court, they go onto the cricket field, they go onto the football field differently, because they realize that, hey, I'm able to do this. And because they have come to terms with that reality, their approach to the game is different. Their approach to their life is different.
And in that context, I mean, and to use your analogy about using the regular road and to going off-road, are you calling on your readers to head off the beat, to head onto the off the beaten path, to take a different journey, or are you asking them to return to an old journey that has not been traversed regularly?
Well, I think each of us, our life is different. We all have a different journey. And so if it is that if I'm actually saying, well, to take a different journey, the only journey I'm pushing you to really take is one that you have been called to take. Right? I mean, let's look at some of the greats that we have. Martin Luther King, we have Mahatma Gandhi, we have Nelson Mandela. All of these persons made their own path. How they created their own path? They simply created their own path by actually coming to terms with things within themselves that bother them, that disturb them. And what they did is that once they've come to terms with that, they started making a pathway for themselves, addressing things that that specifically affects them in a particular way. We are not saying that there are other persons that it probably might not have affected, but what they did is that when they have realized as individuals, and this is what it is about, once you have realized that within yourself, your certain capabilities, your talents and stuff, and there are things probably in your society you realize, hey, this thing really bothers me and I want to make a contribution to it. I want to be able to change this. I want to address this. I want to be able to do this. Once you come to that, you begin following that pathway that you have been specifically designed to address, to follow, and therefore you're actually creating your own path. The only thing that you're really returning to is to understand, right, that Christ is the one that actually had created you with these abilities, with these talents, with these emotions, because sometimes we respond to maybe an issue. Right now we have this issue with women in our society and the kind of victimization and stuff that they're experiencing. And I believe that there are persons, not the persons who are there simply commenting on it, but there are persons who are really prompted within themselves to address these issues. So out of these persons might come might be a foundation, it might be a movement of some sort, because why? That thing has really resonated with them. And because they have identified this thing is really doing something within themselves, that they know will chart a particular journey to address that particular issue.
And Anthony Dolan, before time runs on us, because we have just over a minute left, what would you like people to get from this? I mean, it might be self-explanatory, the title, but if you could just sum it up as what you would like people to get from it.
What I want persons to really get from it, that one, first and foremost, you've been called to something great. You've been called to accomplish something. You've been called to be yourself, especially. And what I really want persons to get is that there is a pathway that has been created for you, and God has made you for a specific purpose with a specific intent, and that people will get a hold of that and pursue that with great fervor, and really be willing to do so and come to that realization, who they are, why they've been made, and then be able to walk with a different mindset and approach to life.
Anthony Dolan, thank you very much for taking the time to be with us this morning to highlight your latest publication. Thank you very much. It's entitled Walk, You Step Differently, Knowing Who You Are, available on Amazon, and indeed, probably sooner rather than later, it will be available at one of our local bookstores or establishments and so on. We'll have to wait and see how that materializes. But as we go to the break, heading up towards 7:54, here are a couple of images from Yamin Nazim of Diamond Village to take us to the break. Diamond Village along San Fernando Way, as he presents us with these lovely floral images, heading to the break right now.